Hi, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to share with you some best practices when hiring temps or contractors if you're a business owner, or a recruiter, or an employer. So, first off, the reasons why you might need a temporary employee or a contractor. It could be a short-term or long-term leave by one of your existing staff, for example, maternity leave or disability. It could be that you want to take work off existing staff. It could be to do with growth of your organization or catching up on work that's been building up. So there's a lot of different reasons. Another reason might be that you have some specialized work that you don't have the expertise and internally to deal with. So you need somebody internally or externally to be able to do that. Perhaps someone has resigned and you need someone to fill the position quickly. Or if you have a full-time position and you want to have somebody on a short-term basis to try them out, that could also be why you might decide to have a temporary contract employee. You may also want to keep your costs down, and in any time at all, it is also another option to use contract employees or temporary employees to keep your costs down. So when you're hiring a temporary contract, I would say have a job description, be very clear as to what your expectations are, take the time and put some thought into exactly what you need. Be reasonable about what a temp or contractor will be able to do. Don't wait until the last minute. So as soon as you know you're going to need a temp, don't wait till the very end. Look for referrals, for example, from current staff. Look for connecting with previous staff as well. Think of the pay structure that will work best for you, whether it's hourly, by the project, or retainer, or whatever the case may be. Consider whether you will give a temp benefits and under what situations that might happen. And don't forget to pay vacation pay, or plan on paying vacation pay, which is typically 4%. So as you're interviewing temporary employees, here's some tips. Be honest about the opportunity that your organization might have for them. Perhaps you might have them to stay longer, or the plans for that position longer term. Number 2 is find a pay structure that works. I mentioned, kind of thinking about it, but also while you're doing the interview, think about and talk to them about what kind of compensation structure would be appropriate. Number 3, cast a wide net to find candidates. So use all the tools that you may have available. Number 4 is interview broadly and have an open mind on candidates. Sometimes the candidate that you don't think would be good ends up being that long-term candidate for you. But definitely think, while you're thinking about a short-term need perhaps, think of just filling that position from a skills and experience perspective, not a full-time position. So really think of purely skills and experience. Number 6, many temps do become full-time employees, so think long-term also while you're interviewing for those candidates. However, what I find in a lot of cases when I'm dealing with employers is that the process for a temporary or contract employee, the interview process becomes as if you're hiring for a full-time person. So really shorten down the process to what's really key and what's most important. Sometimes I've seen clients and companies find they're spending 2 weeks, a month, 2 months for filling up temporary contract positions. So just be aware that you may lose some good candidates because you're taking too long. Definitely get somebody with more experience rather than less experience when you're interviewing, because the training time will be shorter that way. Also, one of the questions that I ask temporary employees is, what are their motives for looking for a temporary position? Are they really looking for a full-time, but they'll settle for a temporary position? Also ask candidates if they are looking for other opportunities, if they have other positions that they're currently interviewing for. There are also job seekers that are happy just doing contract, and that's okay. So just keep that in mind while you're interviewing candidates as well, and ask them for that information. Check references, do criminal checks if and when necessary. Consider flexing hours as well. I mean, obviously work-life balance is very important to people these days, but consider flexing hours, maybe 3 or 4 days a week. Remote options obviously would be a reasonable situation right now. But shorten hours, maybe instead of 9 to 5, maybe it's 9 to 2 or 10 to 4 or whatever the case may be. So be flexible with temps or contractors, because they will be more loyal to you and help you more with that kind of position. especially if they want that. Number 12 is don't expect perfection in a temp. They will need training no matter how experienced the temp is. Take the time, create a positive atmosphere, and don't expect that they'll necessarily fit into your corporate culture long term. But again, you're only looking for a short-term fit. So keep that in mind. After the employee starts, make sure to onboard them sometimes as much as you would for a full-time employee. Ask for honesty from the temp and you'll get that back from them as well. So if you need them to give you 1 to 2 weeks notice, make sure to ask them for that. And treat contract and temp workers well. Don't make them feel like they're disposable. And finally, check in regularly with the temp or contractor while they're on the job. So just a few notes about when you're using a staffing firm or agency. Understand the math. Depending on how you calculate a markup for a temporary employee, one agency could quote you a 40% markup and another one might quote you a 60% markup. The rates might be the same, but you might think that the 40% is actually lower for you. So understand the numbers and understand how they work and how much the candidate, the temporary employee, is getting if you're using a staffing firm. Use a staffing firm that specializes in what you do and is capable of filling those types of positions. There are lots of recruiting firms, so just make sure that you're finding somebody that is actually appropriate for the position that you're looking to fill. And when you're using a recruiting firm, make sure that you understand the terms, how much you're going to pay per hour, any guarantees on the work, when invoices are due, what happens if the temporary doesn't work out, and what happens if you end up hiring them as well. So those are the most common questions that you may have. So in conclusion, hiring a temp can be a tremendous opportunity for you to grow your organization or make sure that work is done or cover off a short-term or long-term need. Check in regularly after they've started and make sure that you're treating them as if you would a full-time employee. So my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. I want to thank you for watching this video. You can check out our TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca website for information about our next event called the Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference and Trade Show, which is held throughout the year. And also feel free to reach out with me and connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Marc Belaiche, M-A-R-C, and last name is B like Bob, E-L-A-I-C-H-E. I'm happy to connect and share with you any tips or anything like that you might be needing in terms of helping you out on your business. We also have a YouTube channel for TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca, so you can visit that, check out some of our older videos that we posted, and look forward to connecting with you in some form or another. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.